Welcome to this channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So a few days ago, a Wing Chun friend sent me a YouTube. In the YouTube, it showed that one instructor is showing the student how a particular techniques can handle an opponent who is bigger size or faster. So I continue on to watch that video, and it shows that that teacher is teaching techniques, internal, and you can see that he's doing Chi Sao with the student, and the inch power and the mind power, like a standing in structure, be able to direct force or those kind of stuff. And after watching that video, I have inspirations to share with you all. What is the truth of Wing Chun 1850? What is the truth of the internal? What is the truth of martial art or fighting arts? So today I'd like to give you a model you can reference with when somebody tell you about martial arts. Because often people who have no idea what is martial arts or what is a proper fighting art will share whatever they think or whatever their teacher is teaching them. And that is a disaster. Actually, it is a disaster today in Wing Chun, in Chinese martial art as a general, because of people who never see what is an elephant, keeping talking about elephant. So let's get this thing straight. Wing Chun 1850 consists of the means of fighting. The means of fighting, not techniques, not hand techniques. The means, meaning your entire body have to move. It's just like looking at the jiu-jitsu player or judo player or Western boxer in the Olympic. The entire body go, not just talking about hand techniques. That's the mean, what it means by the means. Now, the means has to be supported by the body conditioning or the body training. Okay? The mean has to be supported by that. So the body training is weighted 70%, and the means, this technique, that techniques, you know, how your hand, body move and those kind of stuff to fight your opponent, is just 30%. So 70% is this body conditioning, and the 30% is this means. And as you guys know before, who watched my channel, this over here, this is Shaolin Sword Strike, which is the Wing Chun's mother art. And it goes further into, say, the General Qi Ji Guang's fighting, the reality of the Chinese martial art. So it's linking down from that, okay? That has to be really carefully understood. Now, So we need to know that by history, you have the Wing Chun here, 1850. On top of it, or the mother art of it is the Shaolin Sword Strike, and the mother art of the Shaolin Sword Strike is the General Qi Ji Guang, is the military art. Okay. Now, there's the mean. Whatever it is whatever it is. You know, even though it is 460 years ago, at 1560 until today, hey, human is human. Okay. At the 1560, fighting already pretty mature technology. Now, the body conditioning is a big problem today. You look at traditional Chinese martial art today, most of it never talk about this body conditioning. You look at Wing Chun today, like in the movie and so forth, it never talk about body conditioning. And the proper body conditioning, there are three types. The first is the nurture qi, or in today's language, recovery. You need to be able to recover this body. The second is the aerobic base in today's language, which is you need to develop the basic cardio and basics endurance of your body. And the third part is the endurance and explosive power and speed training. Endurance meaning that you need to be able to function in the hard situations to your body, and you need to be able to exert explosive power and speed. Because in fighting, either in the ring or in the real fighting, in the street or whatever, you need to have the endurance and explosive power and speed. No exception, okay? Now, in today's world, as this video I watch, it is only monkey around in this aerobic base where the basic cardio, basic endurance level of training. That's where the Qi Sao, the wooden dummy, the playing sets, and how to say that, the practice of this hand technique, counter the hand techniques, those kind of stuff. It just belongs to this aerobic base. So you can get a guy and you say, well, you know, I can show you this techniques, which is how it works against your opponent, how it can counter your opponent who is stronger and so forth. Well, they all are playing around with this aerobic-based type of training zone, which is never in the explosive power and speed endurance training zone, or the requirement. In fighting, the requirement is explosive power and speed and endurance. We like it or not, okay? Now, on the other hand, the recovery is you need to put your body into rest so that the body be able to recover itself. In ancient traditional Chinese martial arts, for example, the Shaolin 1850, the Wing Chun 1850, you have all the three parts of training based on evidence, okay? So we know what is the training. We can extract it or map it into today's sport science. That's why you know that this is the recovery type, the aerobic base, and the explosive power and speed and endurance training. You need this 3 training if you want to call it a martial arts. It is a disaster when people keeping talking about this hand techniques, that hand techniques. It doesn't even involve the body handling. Okay, it is a disaster. Not to mention that one don't even have ever trained in the explosive power and speed and endurance training. How is one supposed to be able to fight, say for 1.5 minutes in the explosive power and speed endurance zone of the body, the condition the body will have, the physiology have to face. And so whatever people talk about internal mind power, all those goodies, they are only belong to the aerobic base. They are not even in the recovery or the chi, a real chi stuff. The real chi stuff be able to check with your heart rate, your breathing rate, and your heart rate variability. If you have really trained in that. My books, the Wing Chun Inceptions, is writing in detail on that and showing the basic, really basic process of how to do it, how to be able to achieve this. It's there, okay, scientifically, and the process step is there. So unless one have this, okay, unless one have this, be able to track scientifically one have never really ever trained in internal art. Don't bullshit, okay? Now, when you get into the aerobic base, there's another thing which is very important, which is the Xing Qi or 2C state, where one be able to have really deep lower abs breathing properly, naturally, okay? And that is presented in this book. The process, the proper process with today's technology clearly is there, how to develop it. Now, without that, one is only doing exercise, ordinary exercise. So today, Chinese Kung Fu, technically, most Chinese Kung Fu will have a label of internal art, internal power, and this mind power, and all those kinds of very advanced stuff label. What they do is they're only doing exercise. They not even having the 2C state of this, have never been able to do the real chi stuff. That's what happened, okay? Now, when you get into this explosive power stuff, I have shared how the Wing Chun handling the recycling momentum. The recycling momentum, all the strength training, and the footwork and so forth associated with it. Okay. Also, this is the 1560 Wing Chun Kung Fu, the Chinese Kung Fu, with all what it is in this part. In this part, associate the means. In this part, associate with the means of handling or the uniqueness of Wing Chun 1850. So unless one have this, it is, oh my God, what are you selling? You're thinking that just because you're doing a certain technique, you can counter an opponent which is a bigger and using in self-defense. And you're thinking that just by making claim that, oh, Wing Chun is for street fighting and everything, you'll be able to fight the MMA player who have trained in the explosive power and speed and endurance. Look at the cardio of the MMA player. Even though people sometimes claim that, oh, you know, in the street fight, you look at those who is good in the street fight, isn't it? They are fast, they can deliver explosive power. One serious problem today in traditional Chinese martial arts is they are clueless. All those internal Chinese martial art guy, I would say majority, I even can use the term quote unquote all, which is you see in the market. They have no idea of the explosive power and speed and endurance training. They think that they can play like push hand, standing there, taking force, and then they can fight. That's called internal. They are clueless of human body. With this two type of training, the recovery and the aerobic base, those are aerobic training, which is meaning that you using oxygen to support your movement, your action, oxygen. When you get into the explosive power and speed and endurance, you are in the anaerobic range where you use carbs. You use carbs to support your needs of exertions of force, your explosive power, and your speed. And you cannot function here for a long time. A few minutes is the maximum. You get fatigue and so forth because it is a different type of energy system in your body which is running when you are at this high speed, explosive, and endurance in the fighting conditions or situations. So if you look at this, scientifically today we know when one get into the range of fighting, which is the heart rate will go top up, maximum up, so at this region, you look at the energy here, the energy supply here. You see all this red thing? You see these cups? You see it is burning cups. This is a fat here. This is a aerobic. This is all the anaerobic. Is carbs, carbohydrates. So at this zone of training, the body is in a really different type of conditions. People train in fighting, like in Olympic, in all the sports. People need to train here so that one's body be able to handle when one's body's the energy switch and energy supply switch into the carbohydrate support anaerobic type of system. So you can look at this like a hybrid car, Okay, over here at the lower speed, you say have an electric, and then when you go explosive, you go to the gas or petroleum. So you need to switch, and in the middle here, you can have the both electric and gas. Okay, so here you can running gas and electric, and then here you see it go really high. This is all complete carbs. This is oxygens and the fat. So over here you see this yellow line and this red line. Okay, this aerobic zone. At aerobic zone, you burn the carbs and fat, with the oxygen here. But over here, you see all this fat burning and so forth. It drop down. It just go at the really peak explosive power. You go to carb burning. Now I brought this up to share with you. How the hell is you practice the slow push hand, internal mind power, nonsense, be able to function at the explosive power, high speed endurance zone where your body need to function when you're fighting. So all this internal thing is bullshit. Can you do Qi Sao like usual to go fight people like Xi Xiaodong? Can you just do all those hand techniques, go fight Xi Xiaodong who is training in MMA and in the explosive power and speed and endurance zone, which is anaerobic? You can, because you don't even know that your body has to run into this mode. Like your hybrid car, you have to run in a gasoline mode. You cannot just thinking that everything is running with oxygen and you be able to perform in the anaerobic when you need to burning carbs to support your body. Your body is continually is completely different in this here. You need to clear your lactic acid and so forth, and your EPOC, and so your oxygen depth and all kinds of stuff, which is you don't face it here. So you want to play your Xiu Lim Tao slow using strength and so forth. The most is here. So all these internal techniques, one is this internal these techniques can handle the stronger opponent, and then I have this internal. So I use my structure or my bone power or whatever I can against the biggest force. Well, it never ever works in the real life, because all what you do is on this aerobic based training kind of stuff, and you have only a minimum thing called hand techniques. You don't even have the momentum handling. So the very bad thing about Chinese Kung Fu today is keeping using a mysterious term to sell the product where it never have the real nurture Qi or Qi Gong, and it never have the training of the explosive for the high speed stuff. This is a reality. So if you want the questions, can you fight Xi Xiaodong that way? Why Xi Xiaodong tell you guys are all fake? Well, because she is training here in the explosive power and speed and endurance zone. Anybody can spot you, you don't have it. Like the big Tai Chi guy who fights Li Xiaodong, same thing, like Ding Hao, same thing. You cannot perform in the explosive power and speed endurance zone. Why? In this all is Western science. This all is a Western sport science. Okay, so this is anaerobic. You see, there's 2 minutes anaerobics threshold, which is between aerobic and anaerobic, 7 minutes. This type of training, and then it got the aerobic training if purpose, and the anaerobic. That is how one can get used to in fighting. So without this, how the hell are you going to fight? You cannot fight here. You cannot fight with this type of stuff in this range, and you cannot recover without this or be able to handle your heart rate variability. So the ancient 1850s Wing Chun have all of this. Why is that today it never known anymore and everybody go to do whatever it is? A few months ago, I say that the 1850s Wing Chun Xiu Ling Tao practice has to have using the scientific standard US3. So externally training, muscle, bone, joint handling need to be able to handle this, the 7 bolts. Okay, like I share in the basic Wing Chun art and science. In the Wing Chun, beginning Wing Chun and basic Wing Chun art and science. And one have to pass the vertical jump test. The vertical jump test. Not those standing in the structure, those kind. Why? Let's go check on something called polymetrics. Polymetrics is for training. Today it's in sport science and so forth. It is for training for explosive speed, the explosive power and speed. The very basic is the vertical jump test. You're standing in clamping your knee and all those kind of structure, tucking your tailbone, guarantee you screwed because you're violating the polymetrics type of training. And in polymetrics, today in the science, we know what works, what not work, what is going to damage one's body and not be able to produce the explosive power and the explosive speed. So you want to argue with your structure, with your mind power, with your spine and lifting anus. You cannot even touch those stuff because people today train in the polymetrics training. Go check it out. What is the polymetrics? Okay. So here is the goal of increasing power, speed, strength. This training focus on learning to move from muscle extensions to contracting in a rapid, explosive manner. You want to fight the MMA? You want to fight the real martial art today, like the Western boxing, and everybody know on the sport science? And for the internal training is breath handling. You have aerobic base, heart rate variability, core stability, intra-abdominal pressure, VO2 max, anaerobic threshold. I just share with you here. That's the standard. So Sometimes I just feel really, I don't know what to say. Why is people go this crazy? How can one go fight anybody when one don't even know all those details and the purpose of training, which I share with you? So is that possible to have some techniques and you can against your opponent who is much powerful than you, much stronger than you? Just techniques, doing your Qi Sao, doing your Yi Ji Kam Yong Ma, doing your Xiu Lin Tao slowly, you get magic power, mind power. When is people going to wake up? What I just shared with you, the entire system of the 1850 map in today's sports science, you go use that to check all our martial art style, which is a legit style, like a Western boxing, Thai boxing, BJJ, MMA. See whether they have all this fighting part training cover, the aerobic base, and the endurance and the maximum power or explosive power and speed training. And then, of course, the Chinese have that recovery or Qi training, which is most sport and most martial art don't have today for recovering the body for health part. So that's the uniqueness of the proper ancient Chinese martial arts, have 3 parts. And today's sports science and related martial art have 2 parts, and already people doing research into the recovery, the Qi part. They, of course, going to use yoga or meditations to get into that part. But the ancient Chinese martial art have that. So what should I say? You want to believe in all those movie stuff? And you can see that you can watch all the Wing Chun movie, you know it violating what is the truth of the history of China's martial art, left and right, in terms of the means. Because they always show you about 10 techniques. In terms of Qi, most people are clueless. And most people don't even know that today we can measure it. We can track it. In terms of breathing, in here, most people have no idea what it is. And that's why if you really train on that, you'll be able to do that, you'll be able to test it out. Your 360-degree breathing and your low abs breathing, intra-abdominal pressure, and so forth. As here, the minute you turn into the usual Yi Ji Kam Yong Ma, you knock the entire breathing and everything down. You probably don't see that. I'll show you again. Oops. So this is the 360-degree breathing. 360 degrees breathing. If you have a proper breathing, you get this high amplitude. If you don't have the proper breathing, your amplitude become going low. You don't have the 360-degree low abs breathing, proper breathing. It's clearly presented here. How difficult it is to get there. So So again, what is the reality of ancient Wing Chun and ancient traditional Chinese martial art is here, not those hand techniques. What is the Qi basic is here in this book. You don't have to spend $10,000 to buy some cigarette or flying yourself to China. It's here in America. You want to know how to breathe properly, is here. So I really don't know what to say. Because as soon as one have no idea the reality of fighting art, one need to have all this training. One really subject to all the scam. And today, most Chinese martial art never work because one don't even know what one dealing with. So this is what I like to share with you. I like to talk straight because this is an education and culture channel. There is a responsibility for a martial artist to speak truth. You don't want to put those who have never trained, as what I share with you, go to fight. You don't want to put those who never know what is the Qi or internal, make believe that they have all this magic Qi. So this is what I like to share with you. Techniques by itself is useless. You need that 70% of the body conditioning to support you. And today, there is no body explained to you as clear as what I just explained to you on this body conditioning. And reality is no ancients or today, Chinese or American. We are human. Human have only one truth. There's no two truth or whatever mysterious magic power.